Welcome, everybody, to the MadBox podcast. I am Tinfoil Tom, also known on Twitch as Mr. Whiskers Loves You, the lovable, adorable cartoon cat on Twitch. No, not I don't know. Whatever you think of Mr. Whiskers. Joined by MfNoah, as always.
Me. Yep.
Noah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing great, actually. Fantastic, even.
How
it's
was
Easter,
your...
Tom?
It is Easter.
Jesus did something today. I don't know what he did, but he did something.
Are you going to play that game on... Are you going to play that game on Twitch, the I Am Jesus Christ, to celebrate?
No.
Did you hear? Do you know that this is a thing?
I have seen the game. Yeah, I have seen the game.
It's on sale. You could play it if you wanted to.
Oh, it's on sale. They're having an Easter special?
They're having an Easter special. Well, they said that on the first day, Jesus created the game. On the second day, he beta tested the game, and on the third day, he released the sale on Steam.
Sick, dude. Wait, no. What about early access?
He only gave that to the apostles.
Only the apostles have. I see. Okay.
They were.
It might be worth explaining what the game is for any listeners that might not be aware.
So for any listeners, there is currently right now. I've not played it, but I have seen footage of it as well. There is a game. It is a open world game. I guess it's like Red Dead Redemption.
It's Jesus Christ RPG.
It's a it's an open world RPG where you play as Jesus Christ, going through the moments of his life, I believe up until the ending of, and then his eventual resurrection.
How do they portray him? Actually, I don't really remember from the footage. Is he white?
I believe he is.
Or is he historically accurate Jesus Christ?
I am curious to play it because part of the game is you do have to grant miracles in the game, and that's your superpower. Yeah. And I'm like, he kind of was like an original superhero, but it could be an appropriate game to play on Easter.
The original, I guess so, huh?
I think he was the original. He was the original superhero.
Was he really saving people? He was just kind of like making water from wine, right?
I turned water.
Water into wine or wine into water?
Water into wine. Oh. And then
so he just got everyone drunk.
I'm not a religious person. I can already see the comments of the religion of people that are religious being like, actually, he didn't do that. And actually, it's not. We say this in jest. If you whatever you believe in, that is your
whatever Tom says is 100% what happened with Jesus Christ. And if you believe otherwise, you are wrong.
Whatever you want, whatever you believe in, happy Easter. Regardless, happy Easter, everybody. It's Easter. It's Easter Sunday. We are here with another MadBox podcast. Also joining us behind the scenes in cheery old London, England, London, Manchester, United, England. London, England, Manchester United. Producer Jamie. Jamie, is he conscious?
Tom, how many places in England can you name?
How many places?
I think I can only do 2.
Leeds, Birmingham,
okay,
London, Manchester.
Damn, he knows a lot.
Paul, George, Ringo, Morrissey.
Wait a minute.
These are all places. These are all these definitely are all. These are all places. Also, since Jamie's not going to say anything. Did you know that the new king of England is Morrissey?
Is who?
Morrissey. Do you know who Morrissey is?
No, who's Morrissey?
Wait, is this is like the X-Files conversation? You don't know who Morrissey is?
No, who's Morrissey? Wait, what? What am I missing?
Morrissey is like one of Jamie. Jamie obviously knows who Morrissey is, right? Jamie, like this isn't like an old young person thing, right? You know who Morrissey is, right?
Maury?
Jamie's just asleep.
I don't think Jamie knows either. He just doesn't want the heat for it.
No. Jamie definitely knows who Morrissey is.
Who's Morrissey?
He's an extremely famous British. He's basically like British Elvis, but like he started in like the alt like punk scene,
How am I
And then he
supposed to
got
know
into
that?
like more like pop music, and he's like lumped in with bands like The Cure. You know who
Oh,
The Cure is, right?
yeah, I know The Cure. Yeah.
Okay. Morrissey is kind of like a British equivalent of that.
Oh. Well, how would I know
Sort
that?
of.
I'm American.
But
How do you
Morrissey's
know that?
but he's incredibly he's incredibly and he's incredibly
Well,
popular. He's
if he's
incredibly
so
popular.
popular, why did I hear about him?
Okay, who are your top 3 favorite bands? This will gauge why you do or do not know about Morrissey. Give me like a top 3 or top 5.
Damn, you're pulling this out of nowhere, huh? I just have to name him.
Yes, just to give me a gauge of why you
Uh,
would or wouldn't know about Morrissey.
The Doors, Linkin Park, and Creed. I know
This
I'm gonna
is
get
a-
flack for the Creed, but I love Creed, dude. It is what it is.
This
man.
is exactly why you don't know about Morrissey is like, I would lump Morrissey in with British, like that whole new wave movement of like, so like The Cure and Depeche Mode and New Order and like Joy Division and like all of those like alt sort of like punk adjacent
Yeah.
bands from the 80s and 90s. And then Morrissey split off eventually and he became a very successful solo artist. He just started playing music as Morrissey, which the music was still very, very similar. But if you wouldn't name bands like New Order or The Cure or Depeche Mode, or it seems like you like classic rock and like 2000s dad rock.
Hey. No, okay. You know, I used to get mad that people called Linkin Park dad rock, but
Kind of is.
I think at this point, it's dad rock. It really is.
I will say
Early
that
2000s
also
music is old people music now. That's crazy.
It's crazy. It is. It's crazy, and it makes me go, "Oh, yes," because I am now of the age where a good amount of my friends have kids or they're married, and I'm like, yes, and like that's music. I never got into Linkin Park or anything, but like obviously, like when I was in high school, Linkin Park was popular. They were still like a band, I guess, at that time. Like they were still all the original members of the band were in it and stuff, and they were still very popular. And like you'd go into like Hot Topic and there'd just be like Linkin Park merchandise everywhere. But now those people that I went to high school with are married or have children, or they're like in their late 30s or early 40s.
Yeah. I mean, it's old people music now. I remember the day, dude. I remember the day I used to listen to 104.3 in like New York, New Jersey. That's a classic rock radio station. I remember the day they played their first Green Day song, and I was like, there's no way. And I was like 20, and I was like, there's no way. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, Green Day was one of my first CDs.
Really?
Green Day Dookie was what I remember. Dookie. I absolutely remember the Christmas that I got like my first. I got a CD. I got a Sony Discman, and I remember I got 4 CDs. I got the Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack, No Doubt Tragic Kingdom, Green Day Dookie, and Bush Razorblade Suitcase.
Dude, how do you remember all that?
Burned into my memory forever.
I'm so
burned into that memory. Those are my first.
Like I can tell you the artist of like my first CD, but I literally cannot tell you the album name, the song names. I can't do any of that. I can barely remember the song names of my favorite bands. It's crazy.
For a long, like I would say that music, especially at that time, I guess it always has been. I've moved away from music a bit. Like now I mostly listen to like film scores and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
And like older music, like I listen to music from like the 80s and 90s. Like just like even you know, 80s was still before my time, but I'll listen to like a lot of like classic music from around that time. But I think at that time, all that I did was listen to music, watch movies. And now I've moved into just watch movies. And I guess I play more video games now.
Yeah.
But I think I do have have a lot of recall for these sort of things. I think it's important to me.
Yeah.
But
can you guess what my first CD was? I don't think you'll ever guess.
Your first CD.
My first CD. And think about how old I am and think about when I grew up. I'll tell you, I got my first CD when I was like 9 years old.
Okay. I'm going to say
30 now.
So it was like 20 years ago.
Stop! Don't say that. You can't say that, Tom.
But it's true. It was 20 years ago.
It's fucked up, man.
It's 20 years ago.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you got your first CD around 20 years ago. It's hard to know what genre. I feel like I'm gonna say if it was 20 years ago, I'm gonna say your first CD was.
Really think about
yeah,
this.
it's really hard. I don't know. I'm gonna say it was. You named Creed? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, my music taste was vastly different at 9 years old. Well, I guess not that much different.
I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and I'm gonna say Cisco.
No, Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne. I was obsessed with her.
This is deep. No, you know what we should talk about on the podcast sometime then?
What?
Do you know that there's a conspiracy theory that she was replaced with a clone? The real Avril Lavigne, the real Avril Lavigne died at some point, and they replaced her with a clone or a lookalike.
What the fuck?
Is
that real? Is that real? Real conspiracy theory?
Oh yeah. This is a real conspiracy theory because she looks different. At a certain point, her music sounds different. She sounds different, and she looks different, a little bit different. So the conspiracy theory.
Well,
so like,
what if she just got? Here we go. Novel idea. Okay. What if she just got older
and got plastic surgery or something? I think she got older and had like plastic surgery or something.
Yeah, probably.
But there is a conspiracy theory that she was an industry plant, which probably true on that. She was an industry plant because like she kind of came out of nowhere as like, I'm the punk rock skater girl, and like
she sounds like an industry plant, to be honest.
Yes, I think 100% she was an industry plant. However, I don't think that she was cloned and replaced. I think that she was I think that she was a singer that was packaged. And when I say industry plant, for anybody listening to this or watching this, when I say industry plant, I mean that she was a singer that the industry packaged and was like, these are the songs you're going to like make and sing these, and we're gonna like package
she didn't
you
make
as this
it
product
on her own per se. Like
no,
a corporation put her out there,
right?
And then she
was like
became famous.
Yes, so I do think that she was a plant, but I don't think that she's a clone. We should pivot a little bit here. So I will say again, thank you everybody. That was our intro piece here. Thank you for joining us here on the MadBox podcast.
Listen,
we talk about all things.
At least it wasn't Resident Evil.
Oh, we could talk about Resident Evil.
No.
I'll do
at least it wasn't 45
thing.
minutes of Resident Evil. Yeah.
I'll say one final thing for the music talk. I actually saw the last live performance from Linkin Park with Chester in it. It was in Birmingham.
Really?
Yeah, it was in Birmingham. I think 2 weeks before he took his life.
Oh my god!
So it was
sad.
That's crazy.
One of the craziest
crazy,
things I think he said in that live performance was he showed these earrings that he decided to wear, and he said he will wear them till the day he dies. He will never take them out.
So sad.
Because it was in honor of a friend I think he lost.
That's really sad, actually.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and you can fact check me on this. This was around the time that Chris Cornell from Soundgarden died. Was it in regards to? Was he talking
it was that.
about that?
It was something along those lines. Because he definitely lost someone. It might have been them. Because he was talking about honoring them, and I think the day obviously we lost him, I think it was like an anniversary of someone he lost. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I have that in my head too. So Soundgarden is a really good. They're a Seattle. I think they're Seattle area grunge band, or they were a grunge band. They went more into like alt rock. But Chris Cornell very tragically died around that time as well. I think it was in regards to that. Like that stuck in my head that they were friends and like that affected him a lot, which would make sense.
No, that sucks, man. But it's kind of cool that you were at the last show, but that sounds weird to say, but
it's a crazy, it's a crazy feeling.
It's a crazy story.
On the more light-hearted one that I was talking about, you guys tried to name British cities. I will say that most cities that you can think of probably in America might actually be named in the UK, because a lot of them were literally just named that because they exist in England. Like there's a Boston, there's a York, and a lot of new things the original one was probably
Or
in England.
you took it from us.
No, we didn't take it from you. We just decided to
you
call
took-
them.
well, just
That's
like
why
the
you're called
beans.
New York, Noah. You're called New York because York actually originated in the UK. Don't even try it.
go there.
Freaking live it in there.
Well, why isn't
All
York
right, what
called
about the
old?
beans, Jamie?
Yeah, what about the beans? What about old? What
We
about,
don't talk
what-
about the
why
beans.
Is it, why is York called? Why isn't it called Old York then?
Well, it isn't called. It's the original York, and
No.
then you guys made a New York.
What if?
what you
Okay,
did.
hear me out. So Noah and I visit the UK at some point. The podcast gets really popular. We visit the UK. We go to York, and I just start asking people in the town. We'd be like, I love this is called Old York, right? But I'll say it to like shopkeepers and bartenders and stuff.
To be honest,
Just to see-
Keeps.
if you actually look at York, it literally is. It's one of those cities that's a tourist attraction now because it's literally just castles and really old buildings. Like everything looks like it's from the 1500s. It's so
I wanna go to
none
a
of the
castle.
stuff is up. It's also known as the. You'd like it, Tom. Nathan went there. It's known as one of the most haunted cities in the UK. It's known as the city of like 1,000 ghosts or something because every hotel is supposedly haunted.
We should stay at a haunted hotel.
Yeah,
I don't
in
want to
York.
stay at a haunted. I don't want to.
We should do an entire podcast in a haunted hotel.
Oh, we
at
should.
night.
That'd be
No,
good.
that's
In
no,
York.
that's scary.
Seance in York.
In York.
That's no. That's
And
scary.
we do a
So-
seance and ask them which one came first, New York or Old York.
Just
Right.
asking them which is better.
The ghost can tell us. Yes. Let the
Ask
ghost
them which
tell
is
us.
better. That'd be funny. Also, it is a
Yeah.
fun
Let
thought
the
of,
ghost
of
tell
new
us.
things. Since obviously New York was a thing when Europe kind of supposedly found America, Scotland got really jealous, and so they decided to try and do their own version down in Brazil. And they made their own New Edinburgh. But then they got chased out after like a few months and then gave up.
Scottish in Brazil, and they got
Yeah,
chased
they
out.
got
Wait, what do you
chased
mean-
out
wait,
by-
wait, what do you mean they got chased out? Wait.
I believe that Spanish might have already been there or something, and then chased them out. Because Scotland basically saw England doing quite well, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like the New York. All right, well we could
Right.
do one up on the English." And then they went to Brazil and were like, "Hey, this would be a great place for New Edinburgh." And then they got
They-
chased out. Then they gave
They
up.
tried to-
fucking crazy.
They were trying to franchise Scotland.
They
and
were
couldn't do
trying to
it.
franchise Scotland.
Franchise Scotland,
It just didn't. It didn't work out.
like it was a McDonald's.
Back then it was, yeah.
All right, let's finish the intro because we do have something to
Yes.
talk about today.
We do have something to talk about.
Or
So,
an announce.
welcome to the MadBox podcast. We talk about all things mad and unusual. Usually, the first few minutes are just us doing our intro, and then we go into some strange news, and then we go into a topic portion. I will ask if you're enjoying this, please rate and review us. Please leave a comment. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please rate and review, leave a comment. And if you're on YouTube, please like and comment on this video. And if you'd like to super support us, please support the show on Patreon. We do a bonus show, which could be anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes after every episode. And we would super appreciate the support over there. Maybe we'd even be able to buy some burritos after. But we do have something.
burrito fun. That's true. We also talked about anime.
That's
on the
true.
last
We
one.
talked. We did.
We talked about
anime
Jamie's
for a
anime
while.
interests, which is interesting.
Well, we do have something very important to talk about. So do you want me to lead that, or do you want to talk about it?
For sure. No,
You want me to
do
lead it?
all that. You have the voice, man. I don't have the voice for this.
All right, I'll lead it. You can chime in. So we had ourselves a little business meeting, and we have decided to end the show on this channel. On this to end
I
the
would
show.
have done a little bit better
To
than
end the
that. Wait
show
a
on
minute.
this channel.
No,
To end
no,
the show
no,
on
no.
this. To end the show. Hey, I had to give it some suspense. I'm giving it some suspense here. You got to build it up. So basically, what we decided is that this channel was one of Jamie's pre-existing channels, and we did notice that. And no offense, I'm from the ARG world, love the ARG world, love you ARG fans, but we did notice that there were a number of comments of people saying that's not Jamie, or this isn't an ARG, like stuff like that. So this isn't talk about an ARG.
These
Who
guys are
these-
stupid. They're
Yeah,
bald
these
and
guys-
fat. What is this?
These guys are who are these two men that are not Jamie, that if I fast forwarded through, I'd probably be able to hear Jamie, or if I looked at the description, I could tell that this is Jamie. So, and from that, there was also a significant amount of downvoting. And the way that the YouTube algorithm works is that, like, yes, that's interaction, but if something's downvoted a lot, then, you know, that the podcast might not be recommended as much. And we felt like that might be hurting our chances of discovery. So we've decided to start a totally fresh channel on YouTube. And that's where we're going to put our VODs. That's where we're going to do the live show. We're going to put shorts up there, edited segments. The Spotify will remain the same because that was a new channel regardless. But I think that if we do want to, and Noah and Jamie, I believe, are in agreement here as well, that if we're going to put our best foot forward, try to make an honest go of the podcast, the best way to do that is to start a totally fresh, devoted channel that the algorithm isn't going to lump in with like ARG content and stuff like that and like potentially hurt our chances for discovery. So we posted a link in this live stream, and we'll post the link on Discord and all that stuff too. If you like the show, we know it's annoying to click on a new thing and subscribe. If you do like the show, this is going to be the home on YouTube. It'll remain on Spotify. But if you do like the podcast, that link that is pinned is the new home of the podcast starting next week. And that's basically it. That's
basically it. Yeah. I mean, it's really not any specific reason besides the fact that we just want to start fresh and have a fresh chance at we also noticed that newer YouTube channels perform better because they just, you know, they're newer. They're not stained by a certain algorithmic reason why this doesn't happen or this. It's like a fresh slate. So
yeah.
It's really
good. Yeah, we talked about it for a little while, but we also feel I feel like it's very important. I do this on my stream. I know that Noah does this on his stream. Jamie does this on his. I do think it's important to be transparent with the audience. So everybody that's watching here now, thank you for supporting us thus far. But we have talked about it, and once we now have moved all of our assets over, we want to be as transparent and as possible in this journey, and like just try to talk to everybody about it. So that'll be the new home of the podcast going forward. Next week, this YouTube channel will no longer be active. The VODs will still be here, but
I think we're going to leave it up, right? Well,
we're going to leave it.
Should we change the name? We'll figure that out. Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We'll give you the link to the new channel. Yeah.
Yes, it's pinned. It is pinned in the chat right now. Noah, I think we need to get into some. I think we need to get into some news. I think we need to get into some news here.
Some freaky news, dude.
I also have, before we get into the weird news, do you want to hear about something crazy that happened to me the other day?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So I heard a commotion. I heard a commotion down the street, and I was like, well, what's going on? And what's going on down here? So I went down the street because my wife and I heard some like crazy noises, and I was like, what's going on around here? And we heard this crazy high pitched noises. So then we went outside, and there was a large group of people around, and I was like, what's going on out here? You know, walked down the street, went down there. And then I looked over to my right because I was like, these people were all looking at something. They were congregating around something. I didn't understand what was happening. My brain couldn't process what was happening. People around with cell phones and people staring at something, a large group engaging in massive commotion. And then I looked to the right, and I noticed that there were two gigantic bald eagles on the ground.
What? Wait, why were they on the ground though?
One of them was injured, and I've never seen anything like that before. And let me tell you, a bald eagle
why was the second one there? Was it like comforting it, or?
I think that was comforting that. So one of the people in the crowd, like I was like, hey, what's going on here? Like asking like, hey, you know, what's happening? Like, you know, does anybody call animal control? Like, what's happening here? And one person was like, yes, we called animal control. They said that and I don't understand why they said this. I don't think that this is the best thing to do. But one of the people was like, animal control told us it's best to try to move them along so that they're not like in the street, like try to move them along so that they get to safety. So this person picked up trust me,
that sounds really dumb.
It sounds super dumb. I don't understand why that's what animal control told this person. So this person picked up a stick and just kind of like went to poke one of them, and then both of the bald eagles flew off.
God damn it, man.
But the craziest, like,
how injured was? Well, I guess it wasn't injured enough to not fly, but for them to be grounded is really not good. Probably
it's crazy. I cannot emphasize enough how large a bald eagle is. I think that the wingspan was like 10 feet. It was like,
no, it's insane. Yeah,
it was.
There's actually a lot of bald eagles where I live. There's like nests and stuff. Protected
crazy
area. It's cool. They're huge.
I've never seen one that close. I was probably like 10 feet away, maybe 2 of them. And the only, let me put it this way. I now know why they are on our currency. They are majestic looking. Yeah, they are absolutely majestic looking.
They scream America. Literally. They scream America. That's what they're like Pokemon.
I mean, that's what drew me down the street, because I heard them screaming.
Yeah.
But like,
screeching America. No, that's crazy though, that there was 2 of them on the ground. That's really not good. They really poked it with a stick. Really?
That's what animal control told this person. And I
feel like that's not the move. I feel like that is really dumb.
Yeah. Like, I also was like, in my head, like, we have a local zoo, right? Like, we have a zoo with the conservation program and all that stuff. And I was like, why wouldn't animal control send somebody from the zoo? Like, if this was an injured bald eagle. So in my head, let's say that this bald eagle was injured, and like, maybe it couldn't, like, it obviously could fly away, but even if it went into, and I don't support animal captivity, but if this animal was injured and they could have like healed it and then it had to stay in captivity, I think that would have been preferable. To be like,
instead of it dying, for sure.
Instead of dying,
that I think that's a good reason to have some animals in captivity, right? They can't live in the wild anymore. So,
but you still want to like study them and keep them safe and like be able to observe them.
Yeah.
Like I think as long as a zoo, like I don't support zoos, but I do think if a zoo has a good, so my local zoo also leads significant conservation efforts. I feel like as long as a zoo is like a and it's a nonprofit, I feel like as long as a zoo is a nonprofit and leads significant conservation efforts, I feel like that's okay. But if a zoo is like SeaWorld and they're exploiting the animals, that is not okay.
I wouldn't even consider like SeaWorld an aquarium. They're just like a theme park.
It's a theme park, and they're exploiting the animals, and like that is not okay. But regardless, this was the craziest thing. I knew I was like, I have to talk about this in the podcast. So I was like, this is crazy. I was like, like, not just 1, but 2 bald eagles. And I close enough to pet them if I wanted. Well, I'm not, I feel like it would probably bite me if I tried to do that. So I'm not going to do that.
I don't think
crazy.
You should pet a wild animal like that ever.
No, probably not. Speaking of crazy, I've got a story for you, Noah. This is probably the craziest story I've read all week.
Crazier than 2 bald eagles?
This is crazier than 2 bald eagles. So I didn't know about this until I started looking for news stories for this week. But so there is a senior official. You know what FEMA is, right? The Federal Emergency Management Agency. They basically, if there's a natural disaster, FEMA is the organization that, you know, they come in and they hand out first aid, first aid kits, all that kind of thing. They help everybody out if there's a natural disaster. A senior, I didn't realize this, but one of the top senior officials for FEMA. So first of all, this is just like the Waffle House, which is part of the story. There's many layers to this, just like a waffle. There's many layers to the story.
This is an insane title, by the way. Insane title.
So first of all, this senior official is a far-right conspiracy theorist who apparently keeps making claims that first of all, one of his claims is that he once teleported 50 miles to a Waffle House, and then he teleported from where he was to a booth at a Waffle House, and he's claiming that this actually happened. He doubled down on this, saying that he also teleported in his car, flew through the air like Harry Potter, and landed at his church. This is real. This is a top senior Trump official. And he's saying, he was quoted as saying, teleportation is no fun. It was kind of scary in a way. Also, he then, when he was questioned on this, he was basically then went into saying that these are all God's miracles. I will also mention that he is in addition to being a far right extremist, also extremely Christian conservative. When questioned about the teleportation, they go hand in hand. When questioned about this, he started saying, "God will not be mocked. People can debate me, question me, even ridicule what they don't understand." And then just started spouting off quotes.
Do you have any proof? Are you dissing God right now? Do you not believe in God?
Yeah. That's basically
what you're telling me right now.
Essentially, that's what he started doing. And he started basically saying, he just started quoting Bible verses. When he got called out on this, he just started quoting Bible verses.
So he literally has zero proof that he actually teleported.
There is no proof. Also, another crazy thing about this official, I will also say another crazy thing about this official, jailed in 2022 after he was part of a movement to try to show that like Joe Biden did voter fraud and that's why Joe Biden won the election. And he was put in jail for that. And he still got a job at FEMA. He was put into jail for that. He's part of a fringe conspiracy group that also he threatened Joe. This is like so many layers to this. He also threatened to punch Joe Biden in the mouth and called him a son of a bitch online. This seems
like a perfect person to fill a high-level government job.
I mean, this is exactly who is apparently filling high-level jobs in the.
And I know we don't want to get though.
I know we don't want to. We're trying not to get political.
Like, well, yeah, I mean, but I love the instant defense of like, you don't believe in Jesus? Do you not believe in God? And just citing Bible verses with his fucking hand in the air or something.
This is crazy.
He claims he just why is that even like? Why would you even try to lie about that? Who cares? Also, yeah, I teleported 50 miles. Okay.
Right. He also
cool, man.
He also was supposed to testify before Congress. Yeah. And all of this stuff started coming out about like him talking about teleporting and him talking about punching Joe Biden and calling him a son of a bitch. And then his past of being jailed for like being part of voter fraud conspiracy theories. All of this stuff started coming out right before he was about to testify before Congress. And FEMA put out a statement basically saying like, haha, these are just silly little rumors. Like FEMA was like, and then his deposition before officials has now been postponed. I think they're doing damage control. I mean, I assume that they're going to remove this man now that
they're definitely, I mean, with what's going on now, I think they're eventually going to remove him for sure. But yes. I feel like the qualification of some of these positions were, do you dislike Joe Biden? Yes, you have the job.
Well, specifically, and this is a quote, by the way, Secret Service, don't come after me. This is a quote from this podcast he was on. His name is, the man's name is Greg Phillips, I think. Is this his name? Greg Phillips. His name is Greg Phillips. The quote from him is, so that he was supposed to testify before Congress, and it has now been postponed. His quote about Joe Biden was, "I would like to punch that son of the bitch in the mouth right now. He is a nasty, redacted, crappy human being, and he deserves to die, and I hope he does."
Jesus Christ, man.
This is an end quote, by the way. Secret Service, I'm quoting Greg Phillips here. This is a quote. I'm not saying this. That is Greg Phillips, by the way.
Well, I like the idea too that maybe there is a specific Bible verse that is related to teleporting. Is that why he's quoting the Bible? Like, what is the context for that?
He was saying that there's something in the Bible about this being like a biblically related miracle. Like reading the article, he's like, in the Bible, they talk about stuff like this. It's true. Basically, he's saying he read
Jesus once teleported to a Waffle House. You don't understand.
Jesus loved the Waffle House. He teleported there all the time. The fact that he also talked openly. This is somebody probably making. It's a top official with a government agency, probably making high six figures, openly talking about his car flying through the air and teleporting to his church.
Wait, he was in the car when it happened, and his car also flew?
No. Separate teleportation event. So he's teleported to Waffle House into a booth, but he's also teleported in his car, flew through the air, and then landed in his church. This is a top official for
that
FEMA.
Is so crazy.
Right now.
This is recent news that he said.
This is breaking news, like in the past week or two. This man currently works for FEMA. If there is a disaster, this man is responsible for it.
Jesus will just cure everything.
That's true. That's
true. You know, Tom, you're not looking at the big picture here. What if he now has the ability to teleport people to safety?
We'll teleport him to Waffle House.
Well, specifically to Waffle Houses, yes. It's a very specific power. And if you're in a car, you go to church.
I saw this story and just it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, he was Greg Phillips was jailed with a fellow conspirator. Her name is Catherine Engelbright, a fellow far-right activist they were both jailed in 2022 for a contempt of court order after claiming to be FBI informants. Spoiler alert, they were not. Spoiler alert, they were not. Under oath, and they refused to turn over poll worker data they claimed they had hacked. So they were actively engaging in voter manipulation, voter result manipulation, and they were jailed for it. Both of them were jailed for it.
That's so insane.
This
so
is
insane.
Crazy.
It doesn't. You know what is crazy about this? It doesn't really surprise me, which says a lot.
Yeah, I guess
I feel like the bar is incredibly low for a lot of at least political-esque news these days.
This is crazy. I mean, I feel bad. Apparently, and I will say, like, I'm glad that this guy is doing better. Apparently, he had a very severe type of cancer. And he's claiming that a lot of these comments were made while he was undergoing treatment, which is not an excuse. But he's now claiming that, and all of his statements have now been deleted. He's doing damage control, obviously. I will say I'm glad that he's doing better. I'm glad that he survived. I'm glad that he's doing better. But this man should absolutely not be holding a government position.
I'm just glad that he is going to share with the world the ability to teleport. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But crazy. Absolutely crazy. This is crazy. And the fact that FEMA is defending this. So the FEMA statement to this, FEMA issued a statement to CNN that said, quote, "This is so silly and it's barely worth acknowledging." Quote from FEMA, the government agency.
It's so silly and barely worth acknowledging. I mean, she is right, though. It is very silly. She's right.
This is so silly. And then they went further on to say DHS, FEMA, and Mr. Phillips are focused on the critical mission of emergency management and ensuring the safety of the American people. Many of the comments cited are taken out of context or represent personal, informal, jovial, and somewhat spiritual discussions made in the context of barely surviving cancer in a private capacity prior to his current role. He made these statements like a year ago. So, I mean,
I guess it is prior, but like, I mean, realistically, it's not that much.
No, it's like it's not.
It's not like he made these statements in like 2018 or something.
Right. And now the fact that he's unwilling to testify. So he was supposed to testify March 25th. And basically this stuff came out and then he did not testify. But he was scheduled to testify and then did not. So now there's a bunch of members of Congress that are now saying, this is Representative Benny Thompson of Mississippi, said that kind of violent rhetoric and wild conspiracy theories are troubling for somebody who holds a leadership position at DHS, which, yes, this is...
I mean, it is, but we live in the clown timeline.
We live in the clown timeline. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Well, let's move into a lighter story, shall we? This goes into Jamie's neck of the woods, actually. It could have actually... So I actually have a question for Jamie then. Jamie, where were you on March 29th?
Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, Jamie, where were you? March 29th.
No. You weren't sleeping.
No,
Jamie.
no.
Jamie, you weren't sleeping. Where were you on March 29th?
To be fair, I don't even know where I was March 29th.
he's okay. Jamie was sleeping because on March 29th, 12 tons of Kit Kat bars were stolen in Europe, according to Nestle. That's right.
Stolen?
That's right. A 12-ton shipment of Nestle Kit Kat bars was stolen.
How were they stolen?
It was stolen in a chocolatey heist. It's a truck. Somebody stole a truck transporting 413,793 units of the new chocolate range has been stolen during transit in Europe, according to an official. The shipment disappeared while heading between production and distribution. So somebody, and this was in the company said the stolen truck.
Why would you need that many Kit Kats? I mean, if you really, really like Kit Kats, can you resell them? I guess, and make a profit, I guess.
So I didn't know about this. So apparently the truck, basically the timeline is truck left the factory in Italy and was making its way to Poland when the truck was stolen. I will say this hasn't.
Was it the Italians that stole it?
It was apparently the Italians stole it. So apparently Kit Kat and chocolate itself, sure, very popular around the Easter holiday. And what they're theorizing is that the chocolate was stolen and is now being sold on the black market. So, like,
why would they need to sell it on the fucking black market? They can sell it anywhere. It's chocolate.
Right, but they took it to then sell it at like a lower cost or whatever to make a profit. So this was like illegally obtained chocolate that was then sold to distributors at a lesser charge or whatever ahead of the Easter holiday, where they were anticipating many sales of Kit Kats. But I will say,
crazy.
I will say that this is one of the wildest. The fact that somebody stole an entire truck full of chocolate.
Can I theorize something different? Okay, what if they didn't try to resell them? What if there is a man right now in Italy in a house made entirely of Kit Kats?
That's possible too.
Right? Furnished everything Kit Kats. He's got a Kit Kat bed.
I absolutely think that this is possible. I will say, if anybody in the chat or listening to this on Spotify has any information, please
come forward.
Please come forward. They are, so Nestle is still searching.
We'll report it to the police, right? That's what we'll do if you tell us where all these Kit Kats are.
Report it to us.
because
we want them.
Yeah, we'll pass it on.
Confirm
is what,
with
what
our
I'm
private
saying.
investigation.
We'll totally pass it on. That's what we'll.
Let me reframe that and say, I want to know where the Kit Kats are. Tell me where they are.
And give me at least 10. We can go away with 10. We can walk away with 10.
And exactly. And give me at least 10. Apparently, Nestle is able to trace these by scanning the batch codes, like just the scanner on the back.
It's like currency.
It probably has a unique
bills.
It has an identifier. So none of the bars have surfaced as of yet, and this is a pretty recent story. None of the bars have surfaced as of yet, but apparently Nestle is. I think what happened. Here's what I think happened. I think that these thieves. So this sort of food theft is not uncommon. I've heard about this sort of food. Basically, thieves steal a truck full of whatever. Wait, what's that?
It's not uncommon?
No, you've never heard about the great cheese thefts or anything? There's cheese thefts all the time. Cheese is one of the most stolen food products in the world. People steal cheese all the time. Some cheese is so rich. Oh yeah. You don't know about the cheese vaults?
What are you saying right now? What do you mean the cheese vaults?
I believe it's also in Italy. There is a vault in Italy. So cheese is widely known.
I'm not going to sit here and just take this Italian slander, okay? My people would never steal this much food, okay?
Hey, calm your spaghetti and meatballs down and just let me tell you about the stolen stolen
cheese
here.
Me about the ancient cheese vaults.
So I believe it's in Italy, And there's a vault so cheese is one of the most stolen goods, food goods in the world. This is like a known thing. People steal cheese all the time. Some cheese is extremely rare and valuable. Some cheese, and this is just information off the top of my head because I've stupidly looked into this before because I'm like, I would like to know about the cheese vault. Some cheese is so rare and valuable. There is a vault, I believe it's in Italy, and its security rivals that of Fort Knox. Some of the cheese is so rare and so valuable that there's like armed security guards everywhere in this vault guarding the world's most valuable cheese. And it's not uncommon that entire trucks full of cheese are then stolen and sold on the cheese black market.
Okay, this makes a little bit more sense to me because it's like a valuable product, at least, right? It's like a rare commodity. The Kit Kats aren't rare. They were just like a normal product that were just stolen in a large quantity.
I think what happened, this is what I think happened. This is my theory. I think that thieves saw a truck, probably unattended, full of something. Like boxes, and I think what happened.
Oh, you think they just stole it? Happened to be Kit Kats, and they were like, "Fuck! What do we do with this?"
Right?
What are we gonna do with all this now?
Yes, I think
they're parking your garage or some shit.
Right. I think that's exactly what happened. I think that they thought that they were gonna find like stereos, and instead they were like, we have 12 tons of Kit Kat bars. What do we do with these?
Okay, well, to be fair too, though, like I would assume it was like a Nestle branded truck. There's no way they couldn't have known it would be something. They would have to know it's something ridiculous they're stealing.
I don't know. I think it could have just like you've seen delivery trucks. Sometimes delivery trucks are just like it's like DHS or DHL or whatever.
Sometimes like an unmarked truck. You're right.
I think it's just
especially in Italy too.
Yeah, I think, and the fact that none of the because you can just scan it on the back and it would tell you whether or not it was one of the stolen batch codes. So I think what happened is I think that thieves thought that they had a big payday and they stole a truck full of candy bars.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, what do we do with all these candy bars?
They're just hiding it. They don't know what to do with it.
I think eventually this truck will just be found in a warehouse or something. And they're going to be like, it's just, okay, they stole it. And that they don't know it. They don't know what there'll be a note saying like, sorry, we thought that they were stereos.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like a victimless crime, so I kind of don't want them to get caught. I think it's really funny that they pulled a Kit Kat heist, essentially.
They pulled the Kit Kat heist. I mean, the cheese. And to go back to what you were saying, I can understand the cheese because like some cheeses, like what like what's a rare like I don't eat cheese, but like Parmesan Reggiano or whatever, like an entire wheel of that is worth.
I guess something that was like cured forever, right? I don't know how long you can like have like old cheese, but like I know like wine bottles are good for like hundreds of years or some shit, right?
I think cheese, if held in temperature controlled environments, is good for years in some cases.
Yeah, so I guess that like that's a high commodity, right? It's like a high priced item.
And some
so
of
you could
those
probably
rare
make
cheese,
some a lot of money from it.
Yeah, well, there have been cheese thefts from some of the cheese thefts that I've read about are like it's like millions of dollars worth of cheese because like it's like a truck full of like these giant things of like Italian cheese.
In the article, does it say how much money the candy bars were worth? Like
it doesn't. It just says 12 tons, and it says what I mean, you could probably gauge it. Let's say it was 413,793 units. So I'm taking that as those are bars. How much is a candy bar? $2?
Here, this is an AI generated answer, okay? $550,000 to $740,000. Depending on the market and pricing used.
I mean it's significant.
Significant amount of money. But that's if you're able to move that much Kit Kat. You'd have to be able to sell all of that product.
It's so
and that's
crazy.
If you were selling it at market price, right? I would assume they're probably going to sell it for not market price, so they get like people to be hush hush about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what do you even do with that? I think you're right though. I think someone messed up and they're like, "Fuck."
I think I think it was a crime of opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think that they saw a truck. I think that I'm gonna theorize what happened here. The truck driver stopped to pee, stopped at a truck stop, left his truck running, and then a thief just saw it and was like, "Huh," it stole the truck.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have a way to track the truck. I guess if it was just like a random truck, they don't have that.
I'm guessing it's in a warehouse or it's like hidden somewhere. I think that like somebody's hiding it somewhere because they were like, what do we do with all of these? But yeah, they can't. They like if there is a unique batch code, because I've worked in grocery stores, so like just scanning the product, it has a unique identifier on the back. So I think that like once they see that these things have barcodes on them, they're like, oh, we can't sell these because they're gonna find us. They're going to know that we saw, and like nobody's going to buy it because they're going to say, like any retail store, we'll go, oh, this is like not coming up in our system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well, I think that they're stuck.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, they could sell them to like bodegas or, okay, well, not a bodega.
To check the
Italy,
local
but, you know
flea
what I mean?
markets.
Yeah. They'll sell them to like,
a massive basket of Kit Kats in one stall, maybe see if it's Nestle.
Sell them to some kids and the kids like sell them out in public. You've never had like a high school basketball team try to sell you candy. You know what I mean?
It could go to that.
Yeah. There's definitely ways to push candy without going through like major grocery stores for sure.
Yeah.
But you'd have to do that a lot. Like a lot.
Like too much. Well, if anybody has any information, if anybody has any information, please notify the authorities. I have some alien news for you right now, Noah, to move on to our next story. New York.
Okay.
New York. You might be familiar with this place. New York has jumped to number 3 for U.S. alien abductions.
What?
You are living in a UFO abduction hot zone.
Where? Okay, where in New York? I cannot.
I think it's just New York. I think it's just New York itself. But
it's got to be upstate New York because, like, if someone gets abducted in New York City, I mean, there's got to be like 50,000 people that have seen it happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
I don't want to alarm you, Noah, but there's been 8,314 UFO sightings since 1974 in New York. That's one sighting for every 1,003 residents. So you've seen somebody on the street that's seen a UFO. You could get abducted.
I don't believe this shit. That's the New York Post, though. I don't believe this shit.
Somebody did a chart.
Is it specific to New York City? Because I don't understand how you could even claim to have been abducted by an alien, but literally no one else has seen it. Like, there's like how many people in New York City? Like I don't understand if you make it an alien abduction claim and you're like in the middle of nowhere, right? Because then like not many people can back it up or whatever, right? But
no, I think
that's a little crazy.
I think you better be careful. No, I do. It's for all of New York, so it's like upstate New York and all that stuff's included. I did see this, and I was like, New York, that's number 3. But I also wanted to issue you this stern warning that you better be careful because it's now number 3 for reported abductions. You know what?
What is
I
number
thought was
1?
This is what I thought was interesting is that the number 1 place for UFO sightings in America is Delaware.
What?
Delaware. And I am curious about that. I'm very, very curious. It's Delaware, Washington, so Washington State. So Delaware is number 1. Washington State is number 2. New York is number 3. Oregon is number 4. And Florida is number 5. The place with the
hold on, is this abductions or UFO sightings?
These are sightings, but New York is number 3 for abductions.
I just can't believe there's that many people claiming to have been abducted by aliens in New York. I just can't believe it.
The only thing that I'll say about that is that the amount of abductions is obviously much, much lower. So like, I don't know what the actual statistic is for the amount of people that are reporting. I'm just reporting from this article. So that could very well be in the past 50 years, 3 people have reported being abducted from New York, but that somehow makes it the number 3. Like, you know what I mean? Like the information is It's a little skewed.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking that there's like 8,000 people that reported that they were abducted this year or something.
No, it's just this was just sightings versus abductions. So
okay,
it is pretty crazy.
It is,
but I will also say, according to this article,
there's a lot of people in New York.
There's a lot.
Delaware
of people.
doesn't make sense. Delaware just doesn't make sense at all.
I will also say though, according to this article, you are more likely to see a UFO than you are to get bitten by a shark.
Yeah. Well, okay. What if I swim in shark-infested waters?
Well, then you might. You're skewing the data here. But for reference, according to this article, the likelihood of getting attacked by a shark clocks in at 1 in 11.5 million. But the likelihood of seeing a UFO, like for example, in New York State, it's 1 out of every 1,000 residents. So in New York State, it's much more likely that you're going to see a UFO before you get bitten by a shark.
I remember there was I don't know how long ago was that when there was like a lot of UFO sightings, UAP sightings, whatever you want to call it.
I would say that reports have probably gone up in the past like 10 to 15 years.
No, there was like something that was like flying in the sky. It was like a bunch of lights. People kept reporting lights.
The people that were saying the drone so that's a whole separate thing. But a defense contracting company came forward and this has been debated and like debunked and rebunked and like all that kind of thing. But according to this defense contracting group, they came forward and said it was them, and they were testing a new series of drones. But that couldn't be proven or disproven. It was just this company came forward and said, "Remember those drones? It was us. We were testing our new defense contractor drone." But there is somebody claiming that was them and that they were just testing drones. That also doesn't
make me feel that great, to be honest with you. Defense contractor testing drones on American soil.
Testing it domestically, being
domestically does not make. I'd rather it be fucking aliens, to be honest with you.
Right, being like, oh, those drones that could launch missiles that we were testing in New Jersey. Yeah, that was us. Don't worry about it. We're not gonna do anything though. But yeah, it doesn't make me feel any better.
Yeah.
Well, we've got okay, this is a good one. I think we could react to this because this is short. We've talked a lot about AI and robotics, and the Terminators are coming for us. But very recently, in the past week or so, there was a dancing robot at a restaurant in California that went haywire, started smashing plates, and the restaurant staff had to yank this robot away as it was causing an absolute ruckus inside the restaurant. The Terminators are becoming sentient, and we have to stop them before it's too late. I think we could just watch this footage. I think we could just watch this footage really quick. We can react to this. So anybody who's listening on Spotify, very recently there was a robot, a dancing robot in a California restaurant that went a bit haywire, started smashing plates while it was dancing. Staff could not deactivate the robot, and they had to pull it away. It's not good. There it is. Look at him.
Oh.
And now they can't shut it off. They're trying to shut it off. They're trying to deactivate it. It's gone insane. It's gone crazed.
It's
crazed.
How it's dancing. It's really just throwing it down.
I mean, I do love these moves though, but I love that they're like this lady right behind it. She's trying her best to deactivate it with whatever this software is, and she just can't. Like this thing is just it's just busted a move. It's just busted a move here.
It's so insane.
I will say
to any Spotify listeners, it's just dancing. They're holding it back and it's dancing. That's why people are laughing. It's very non-violent looking. It is kind of weird. I don't know. It's unsettling to try to control something that's not living, knowing that it's just metal and non-sentient. You're like fighting like something that can hurt you, essentially.
What I will say
Why is it still dancing?
I think
just walked away from it.
They're trying. Yeah, they're like trying to shut it off. They like can't do it.
Yeah.
So
I think it repeated.
What I will
that's it, repeat it again.
Oh, it's just repeating. What I will say is why, like, this is just a Chinese food restaurant. Why did they need a dancing robot in the first place? Like, why was this the first, like, that thing?
Tom,
what is that? Like the Tesla
you can't fight
robot?
It, Tom. It's happening.
No, I am fighting it. I don't want a dancing robot.
No, we're gonna have dancing robots in our restaurants now, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Then I'm never going to a restaurant again. You'll never see. I'll never leave my house again. Then they're
gonna be delivering your mail.
I will say
I'll cancel my mail.
I have heard that China has embraced AI and robots a lot more than America and the West have. So it's
that's what the movie I watched about.
Yeah, it's much more.
That's the creator.
Yeah,
New Asia.
So they apparently have it everywhere. So that's why it's probably so common there right now, because I think everyone kind of has a robot or these things working on the side.
Tom hates it.
Yeah,
Tom hates it.
Well, why they could hire one of us to be the dancing guy. We could just be.
Yeah, but we're not a robot, Tom.
Just put some gray paint on us.
I have been seeing a lot of videos of people assaulting robots, the delivery robots that you showed me that plowed through the. People are just keep knocking them over and making videos, calling them clankers. The robot racism has started early before they've gained sentience.
I got in trouble this week for being critical of the AI people.
What? What do you mean you got in trouble?
I got in trouble. I said I had people yelling at me online. People were being meanies to me. So so this is all AI conversation now. So there is an AI. It's not okay. So I'll frame it like this. There is an AI VTuber, and you're probably familiar with her. She's named Neurosama.
Oh,
so there's an AI Neurosama. There's an AI VTuber named.
We shouldn't.
Yes, I've learned.
They're ravenous. We don't need that. With a ravenous Tom.
I know. I've learned that this is a dangerous topic, but basically, I got in trouble. All that I said, and this was my main point, and maybe I was a little aggressive in my delivery, but I said that Twitch and YouTube should not be promoting. Because these are I think Neurosama and Neurosama's AI sister, Evil, I believe is their name, Evil Neurosama. They set the Twitch hype train records. I think they each got like 123,000 subs on separate hype trains. So between the two of them, that's like $500,000 just in subs, not including bits and like whatever else, direct donations. Incredibly popular. What I said is that Twitch should not be allowing this on a human-forward platform. I was like, Twitch should not be allowing this. Twitch and YouTube should not be promoting it. And I think that if it is allowed, it should be in a separate category. It should be clearly labeled, and it should be like very distinct that this is a separate thing.
I think the Neurosama case is very unique because it is a in-house trained model, and the creator of the AI VTuber is on the stream with the AI. Like, they are together. So like, it's someone's creation and they're with it, right? It's instead of it just being like scraped grok streaming or something, right? Scraping the internet of everything.
I was going to bring some of this up because I was really curious about it, so I decided to look into it. And I do think it's an interesting one because it does raise that question. Because one of my biggest issues with AI has always been the fact that, one, if you're a company and you can afford to hire real people and you choose to use AI instead, I think that is wrong. And if you can afford it, if there's a threshold, you should be hiring actors in that situation. And then some of the other situations was stealing art. That was another thing, stealing art to train your model, to, eventually look to replace humans. In this particular case, none of those are actually applicable because it's a house-trained model, and what is used in that platform is the creator is in it for the most part, and they also bring on other VTubers, humans, to interact with them as well, which then promotes those VTubers as well, which is why a lot of VTubing creators have been on board with it, because they get to be on the stream and find audiences there and collab with it. And it also, in a strange kind of way, it reminds
it's
me
more
a little
positive
bit.
than negative.
Yeah, because it's literally more ethical the way it's created, because it's almost like a toy that this dude's experimenting with, and then has been using it to also promote human people as well, and that does feel slightly different to literally a Grok or a ChatGPT that is just scraping human art and then reinterpreting it and putting it into a machine and replacing humans in jobs without really an idea of how we're going to fix those people that are now unemployed. Whereas this is literally a guy that's just been training himself.
It opens a big conversation to be had, because, you know, I know particularly an artist that has completely gone AI, but the AI they used, they trained off of their own art. So their own unique style, their own art. They've been doing art for a very long time, but it's, you know, AI generated. And they go in and they fix things and stuff, but it's their art at the end of the day. It's just like a weird thing. And like, is that okay? Is that not okay? Should that be a thing? I don't really know. Personally, I don't really have a stake in it because I'm not an artist. I think the VTubing thing is weird to me. I don't like. I personally would not sit there and watch an AI stream. I maybe for like a little bit as a joke, but I wouldn't sit there and consume that content, right?
Same,
it's just not something. But like, to say that other people can't derive enjoyment from it, I don't know. I think it's like toting the line, and it's just okay.
That's more so to go all the way back. That's basically how I feel. I'm like, I don't support this. I wouldn't watch it. But, you know, whatever. My whole thing, which was like my main argument with on my stream that I was talking about it, I just feel like it needs to be clearly labeled and like defined, and it shouldn't be. I feel like it shouldn't be promoted. That's my main objection. And because people were one of the main arguments that people were using with me was like basically people being like, oh, well, you don't support Vidal. He's so not. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything negative about Vidal. I'm like, I think he's obviously a clearly talented programmer. I was like, I didn't say anything. And people were using like a straw man argument to be like, oh, well, you don't like. And I was like, I think Vidal sounds like he's a very intelligent guy. I was like, he's clearly talented. I was like, objection
it's hard to have a conversation specifically with VTuber fans. I'll just say it right now.
Right. It's like nobody
was going to vehemently defend their VTuber streamer.
Right. They weren't listening. Whatever. Yeah, right. They weren't listening to me. I was like, I don't have a problem with the creator. I was like, I have a problem with Twitch and YouTube promoting this. I was like, I have nothing. I was like, if people want to make this, they can make whatever they want. I was like, I don't think that these platforms that are supposed to be human forward platforms, if you look on YouTube right now, YouTube is just. Well,
what do you mean by promoting them? What is your idea of?
Twitch was front paging this. Well, because it was making,
you know, Twitch. Like have an ad, you know, they're on the front page.
But Twitch is front paging it to be like, look at how much money this made. Like that's what they're saying with like Hype Train. Like, and Twitch is directly benefiting because, like, if you don't know this, like Twitch takes 50% of sub revenue. So off that hype train, off those hype trains, Twitch made $250,000 or more. Yeah. So Twitch has financial incentive to promote this, and I don't feel like they should be. I feel like Twitch can have it on their platform. That's my whole argument. The basis for my argument is that it shouldn't be promoted, and that we should be promoting humans. Like, just to promote Vidal. Don't promote Neurosama. Just say, here, we're going to promote Vidal.
I think it's a really weird scenario to begin with, because people aren't really used to AI streamers. It sounds like a weird concept to begin with. But I mean, yeah, I see where you're coming from. If you want my honest opinion, I don't really care if they promote that, because like, I feel like Twitch is a company that has been very clear about not caring about ethical stuff. They do when they need to.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But yeah,
saying
Twitch doesn't
shouldn't do that. It's like, well, Twitch is, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I trust me.
It took a while for them to ban gambling, and that was like fucking years of that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't get me. Twitch is a lot of things. I think Twitch has the best community. Twitch is horrible to it with its policies, though. Its policies are Twitch's policies are absolute dog water. And like this doesn't surprise me. I'm like Twitch just cares about making. They're a giant company. They're Amazon.
I think the whole AI. I think the whole. No, you continue that. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
I was gonna say they just care about. They care about money at the end of the day. But long story short, I posted basically that, like being critical of this. And then I was like, oh, this is a thing. Like, and then I just started getting like blasted with comments of being like, how dare you say something? And I was like, I didn't say anything negative about Neurosama. I was like, I just said this shouldn't be promoted.
There's just, I don't know. I think there's two sides to everything, right? And there is the side of I think there are people that just hate AI about everything AI. And you know what? Like, I agree. I really hate AI, and I really wish it wasn't a thing, but it's like kind of here to stay. And I think some people are so fighting against it that it kind of turns some people off. You know what I mean? Like someone that is just so vehemently against it all the time, it's exhausting. So, I mean, they find enjoyment out of the streamer. They're going to defend it to you too. I think that's how you came off, is that you just don't like AI, period, right?
Right, which isn't like I don't support AI projects personally, but I'm not going to be like, you're dumb. Like, I'm not going to like do that. I'm going to be like, whatever you want to support. I don't want to support it. But I think that what the people that were arguing with me in the comments about it, they were arguing about something different than what I was. And I don't think they were seeing what I was arguing for versus what they were arguing about. They were just like, you say bad thing related to Neurosama, I am angry now. And I'm like, well, I was like, I think we're arguing about two totally different things. I'm like, I don't think you're seeing my argument here.
Yeah, no.
So I have learned that it's better to just not, I'm just staying away from it. I've just learned it's better not to argue with them because they're not going to see my argument, and I'm never going to agree with them.
The VTubing community is very niche and close circled, right? So if you try to penetrate that, you're going to get, if you're trying to penetrate it as someone who's not in that space, in that like community, doesn't understand things, they're going to view you as a normie, and they're immediately going to lash out and fight back at you. You know what I mean?
Yes. So hey, peace be with you. That's what I'll say.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. That's all. That's what I'll say. That's how we'll end this segment. Peace and love. I hope you enjoy the streams are fun. That's how I'll end it. Well, we should move into our break, and then we can get into the main topic. Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. We're going to take a little quick break. This is going to be a little commercial for you guys, but we'll be right back into our main segment this week, known as Make Me a Believer, which is where Tom will be our little host for the next hour. So see you guys shortly. All right. Hello everybody, I'm Tom from the MadBox podcast, Skibbity, and I want to talk to you about Patreon. Yes, if you enjoy this podcast, then maybe you should consider supporting us on Patreon. We don't really get paid anywhere else for doing this show, so if there is any support while we build up the channel and hopefully get monetized in the future, it would be nice to see any support that comes from viewers that are able to give something. Over on Patreon, we have many tiers, such as the tier that's $6 a month that will give you exclusive 30 to 60-minute episodes of the MadBox podcast each week. Basically, that's just a place where we talk about the stuff we didn't get to talk about that week, and we leave it there for our Patreon viewers. We also have an exclusive episode of the MadBox podcast on the Patreon right now, which is a Make Me a Believer, where me, Tom from the MadBox podcast, Skibbity, tries to convince Noah, my other podcast member, into believing that Bob Lazar is legit. Pretty cool, right? What do you have to say about this, Noah? Wow, wasn't that insightful? That's really good. So why don't you head on over to Patreon now for the MadBox podcast and help support our members today. If you can't, that is absolutely fine. All we ask for is you share the podcast with your friends or subscribe to the channel as we are live every Sunday, only on YouTube. Maybe we'll be somewhere else, I don't know.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome. All right, I hope you enjoyed the break. Noah, are you ready to believe?
Well, yeah, sure. I don't think that's what you have for me today, right? Well, you know.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do this
You're doing
week.
Something different today.
This is a little different. So this is for an old... So just to be transparent, I wrote this as a potential video and in the past, and then I didn't end up making the video. However, I didn't want to abandon the script, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to use this script on you, Noah. So basically the way that this works is these are all urban legends.
Okay.
Now what I'm going to do is tell you the story, and then you have to tell me whether or not you believe that this is inspired by something true or if it's completely made up.
Are you going to be like, it's an alien, and then you're going to be like, it's real and happened? And like, how wacky are these urban legends? Are they like impossible to happen, or are they just things that have happened?
I would say a mixture of supernatural and realistic. You'll hear it. You'll hear a story.
Okay.
You'll hear the urban legend. And then the urban legend happens, and then you're gonna go, okay, is this based on something that really happened, or is this just total bullshit?
Okay.
Basically, that's the whole
I might
thing.
not agree. It might still be total bullshit, even if you say it's real. That's the point I'm gonna get.
I'll say based on something. I'll say based on something in reality. If it's true, it's based on something that turned into this. But like the initial nugget was something that really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then it inspired a story.
Okay. Yeah. I'm ready.
So the first one is, are you familiar with the elevator game?
No. What is the elevator game?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this. So this is a folklore. This is an urban legend out of South Korea. Okay, so you'll start off, and I'll just read you the story. So there's something so frightening about being in a hotel elevator alone. Maybe it's the unfamiliarity of your surroundings, the thought that anybody or anything could be in the elevator with you. You're in an unknown place, out of town, and you don't know how to escape to find safety. But what if I told you that in South Korea, adventure seekers take an elevator not to another floor, but to another world? Finding a building with 10 floors and getting onto the elevator alone are just the first steps to the other world. Now, you must begin.
You have to find the random building with 10 floors, or there's
you have to find a building with 10 floors. That's how this works.
Okay.
That's how this works. That's how this works.
Okay.
So then you find the building with 10 floors, which has to have an elevator, by the way. Can't have just stairs. You gotta use the elevator here.
Also, is the 10 floors that no more, no less? Like
no more, no less. It's gotta have 10 floors.
So if 11 floors, no go? No deal.
No go. It's got to be 10 floors. That's how this game works. Finding a building with 10 floors and getting onto the elevator alone are just the first steps to the other world. Now, you must begin pressing the buttons to access the different floors in the correct order and don't mess it up. So you have to press the buttons in the right order. You got to just start pressing buttons, smashing.
Wait, in the right order? So you have to find the
you have to know the right.
Confused.
You have to know the right button sequence.
How do you know the right button sequence, though?
You would do careful research into the supernatural elevators of South Korea.
Okay.
Now you must begin pressing the buttons to access different floors in the correct order and don't mess it up. If you do, or if anybody gets on the elevator with you, you have to leave the elevator and start the sequence all over again.
Wait.
That's right. That's right. See?
This is less urban myth and more just annoying. Imagine getting to almost the last part of the sequence and then someone walks on the elevator.
Well, that's why they call it the elevator game. It's a game. You got to win the game.
How would you ever be able to complete it? It's a building, a busy building.
If you want to go to the other world, that's
I guess you do it at night when there's no one there, right? You don't do it in the
I think you could do it.
day.
I think you could do it at any time, but I assume night for maximum spookiness for sure.
Well, night just so nobody fucks it up.
Also, so nobody. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, and so I will also say you have
Janitor
to be in the
walks
elevator.
Oh, this fucking guy, man.
Well, that actually is part of it. You have to be alone.
Okay.
You have to be alone. So I will say, if anybody, that is part of it. If somebody gets on the elevator with you, you do have to start over. So that is true. You must do this alone. There is an exception, though.
Yeah.
Which you, Noah, may not like. If you press the right buttons on the elevator keypad, a woman may get on the elevator with you on the 5th floor. Do not talk to her or even look at her, because if you do, it could be the end of you, as acknowledging her leads her to drag you off into the unknown towards certain death.
Well, that doesn't sound like such a bad thing.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you're into.
Oh no, don't drag me off.
Yes. No, stop it. Yeah, no, stop it. Okay, we don't know exactly who she is. And some may even say, I think that this is the creepy part. She may even look like somebody you may already know. But let's just say she isn't friendly. She may even speak your name, but do not answer her. Keep your eyes forward and just continue pressing the buttons and playing the game.
So this isn't when you do the right sequence. This is just while you're playing the game. This could happen.
She'll get on the 5th floor. She could get on while you're playing. Yeah.
So this is just a random encounter that you have to deal with.
This is a random anomaly. This is this is like an anomaly game, I guess.
Okay.
You may even end up on the ground floor again. If you do, leave immediately if the elevator stops here. Don't stop for anything or anyone. If somebody's speaking to you, don't speak back. Just leave the building. You must leave again. So you must begin again. So if the elevator goes all the way back down to the 1st floor, start over. If anybody tries to talk to you, ignore them. Keep walking. Beeline it out that front door. You must begin again. If, however, you follow the steps in the correct order, you will make it to the 10th floor and you've made it to the other world. Congratulations. You've made it to a shadowy void world, which is like a mirror image of our world. It's just empty. Yeah. Now you must reverse the steps that you took to get back to the real world. And one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing. If while in the void world, you lose sight of the elevator. So the elevator back always has to be within your field of vision. If you lose sight of it, you may never find your way back to the elevator again. And this floor may be your final stop.
Okay, so the whole point is to go to the void dimension, but not get lost to the void dimension. You just want to be in the void dimension. That's game.
How you win. That's the game. You got to make it to the void world, and you make it to the void world. You go, this is cool. Then you have to reverse the steps and go back.
And then you got to back away slowly back into the elevator and then leave.
Well, I mean, you can go down my understanding is you can go down the hall. You just can't ever lose sight of the elevator, because if you do and you become lost, you will be lost in the void dimension forever.
Interesting. Okay. Now
Noah, I must ask you, is this inspired by something real, or is this total bullshit?
Honestly, this sounds like someone made a game to... Yeah, this sounds real just because it sounds like someone made it. Someone made a game to do. Like a kid or something, like a teenager made the elevator game.
Now, after talking to Jamie, I've decided just to say that all of these are just true.
Shut up.
No. I should just tell you that everything. No. I'll explain this I'll explain everything to the audience. I think that this is made up story. However, tragically, this story may have inspired a real life case. Something tragic happened because of the elevator game. Are you familiar with the Elisa Lam mystery?
No. I knew an Elisa Lam in high school.
Was it maybe? I hope it wasn't. Is she alive?
You meant to drop some like crazy thing right now? No, continue.
No, she was Canadian. So I think that this is.
We're safe. She's Canadian. It's all good.
I think that this has been pre-existing folklore in South Korea for some time. I think that somebody did make this up as like a creepypasta urban legend. I do think that because this story was popular among internet forums, I do think that this story somehow got to Elisa Lam, who is a Canadian tourist who stayed at a hotel in Los Angeles. She's seen on hotel security footage appearing to look like she's playing the elevator game. Like she's getting onto an elevator late at night. She's by herself. She's pressing buttons. It's really spooky security footage, actually. She's like stopping. She's like looking out of the elevator. It looks like she's talking to somebody at some point. Her body was then, she disappeared. Her body was then found inside the hotel's water system, like the water tower on the roof, sometime later. So, and people don't, to this day, people don't know exactly what happened to her. But this is a crazy story.
He went to the robot dancing while you were talking.
Jamie went right to the robot dancing. But the Elisa Lam footage, I think it's really spooky footage, and we're gonna watch it here for anybody who's listening on Spotify. The Elisa Lam footage, she does appear to possibly be playing the elevator game, if I had to guess.
How do they get the order? Where are they getting this order from?
I mean, this is derived from internet legend, but the footage is very creepy. Like she gets on, she's pressing the buttons, she's pressing them in a weird sequence. She's like,
it's so annoying that the fucking door's not closing. She must be so fucking annoying.
But she like checks, she like looks at a certain point. It looks like she's talking to somebody. It's really creepy.
Whoa, what is she doing, man?
That's what I mean, is that this is very creepy security footage. And I think
Spotify listeners, she is currently hiding in the corner of the elevator and then ever so peeking her head out around the corner into the hallway.
It's weird.
She pressed buttons, but the elevator's not going anywhere.
That's something that people pointed out, is that like people are like, why doesn't the elevator move? Like she's pressing buttons. Why doesn't the elevator do anything?
It seems like she's not playing the game, but trying to hide from somebody. But like, if she's trying to hide from somebody, and is that it? Does she leave or does she come back?
So she comes back, and then eventually she does leave, and then she vanishes. She's just gone. And her story is crazy in that her body was discovered inside the water tank of the hotel. And people don't know how she got in there. They don't know why she got in there. Like, for some reason, she got into this water tank. And
how did they figure out that she was in the water tank?
For listeners,
did the water start tasting weird? That is horrifying.
Yes. People in the hotel started.
God.
Yes, people in the hotel started to report like there was like the water started getting like her body was in the water tank, and like that's how she was eventually discovered.
Christ, man.
But so the hotel that she was in, the Hotel Cecil, something interesting about this hotel is that this hotel was this hotel is a weird one in that half of it is for residency and half of it is a hotel. So like you could, this was like a budget, like, like a Motel 6. It's like a budget type motel, and people could stay there long term if they wanted to.
I'm going to be honest, Tom. It looks like she's on fucking drugs.
Toxicology report, no drugs in her system.
Really?
Yes.
Does she have like pre-existing mental conditions or anything?
I believe she was bipolar, but not like it wouldn't explain. I don't think it would explain. I don't think it would explain this though. Like this is like a breakdown.
It does look like she's seeing. She looks like she's seeing things and like talking to somebody.
I do believe it's been a little bit since I looked into her case. I do believe she was bipolar, but that wouldn't explain like this is like a complete breakdown. Like this is, and I had the same thoughts, being like, I'm like, was she on drugs? And a toxicology report came back came back negative, and she wasn't drunk or anything like that. And for all intents and purposes, she was on America. She was a college student. She was on America on a holiday. In America on a holiday. She was just like a tourist. She was staying at this hotel. She had talked to her parents shortly before. There was no indication that anything weird was going on with her. So like, that's like, there are things that are like, this is really bizarre. It's a very spooky case. And I wish that there was a resolution for it, but there's really not. It's very, very weird. What I was going to say about this hotel specifically is that this hotel is incredibly haunted as well.
Whoa.
The Hotel Cecil, because of its long-term residency, like half the hotel, not one, but two of the most famous serial killers in history lived at this hotel. Jack the
Ripper?
No, Jack Underweger. Jack Underweger, I believe he was an Austrian serial killer. He lived at the hotel, and Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, one of the most famous serial killers in history, also lived at this hotel during like when he was murdering tons of people in LA. He lived at this hotel. So this hotel has an you've probably heard of Richard Ramirez. That he's like the Night Stalker. Nope. Very famous, prolific, very famous serial killer.
Well, if they're so famous, why don't I know about them?
I guess you're not. I watch a lot of
so much.
I watch a lot of true crime documentaries. Richard Ramirez was a very famous serial killer. He was a very famous serial killer.
What would he do? He just stalked people at night.
He was the Night Stalker. Yeah, like
he was the Night Stalker.
He was the Night Stalker.
It doesn't really seem like he was doing anything, out of the box there.
Out of the serial killer box?
He wasn't really. Good one. No, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm saying there's been cooler serial killers. That's all I'm saying.
Who do you think's the coolest serial killer, Noah? No, hit me with your coolest.
Well, I don't want to. I don't think any of them are cool.
But you just said that. No. I'm using your own words. You just said there's cooler serial killers. Who's the coolest
not really like
one?
Unique. Oh, I stalk people at night. Wow. Well, wasn't that everyone stalking people at night? What, they didn't do it in the daytime?
Well, Richard Ramirez also said he was like drawing like pentagrams on himself, and said that he was like a Satanist and in leagues with the devil and stuff.
Oh, they're all Satanists, dude. This guy,
they all say that.
He doesn't know. Yeah. I mean, come
on. But
where's the uniqueness? Where's the drama of it all?
I do think that with this case, I do think that this hotel, the Hotel Cecil, also there's been tons of unexplained deaths at this hotel over the years. Mm-hmm. There's another case of the Hotel Cecil where somebody leapt to their death from a top floor. I believe it was a failed actress in like the 1930s or 40s. Whoa. Leapt out of the top floor, and then she killed somebody on the sidewalk below.
Oh my God, that's so terrible. Actually,
it's horrible. But like, what I mean to say is that this hotel is like it's like a misery factory. There's like so many deaths at this hotel. It's crazy, and this poor. Whatever happened to Elisa Lam happened at this hotel. But I do think that even if this story, the elevator game, is just creepypasta derived from, I do think that it does look like she was possibly trying to like replicate the elevator game in this elevator.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Very creepy.
So what are you classing this as? Just for confirmation, Tom, what are you classing this as? Are you classing this as fake or true? Just so Noah knows what to gauge by for the other two stories.
I'm going to say that this was fake that then possibly became true.
Can't do that.
I'm going to say it's true. It's just true then.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about before we started doing these.
They're all
going to be not true, but true.
No, I would say that this was fake. I would say that this was an urban legend that then inspired something else, I think. But I think it was an urban legend.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if she was doing the elevator game because the elevator was going nowhere. If she was doing the elevator game, she was very bad. That's all I'm going to say. She was terrible.
Maybe, what if she made it? Then the
elevator wasn't going anywhere. How is she making it?
True. I will also say before we move on to the next urban legend, people have tested the elevator since that specific elevator and it's worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Very weird. It's like the whole it's very weird, and that's like known. Like even people like Ghost Adventures have gone to this hotel and they've tested the elevator. It's worked. The elevator has worked. And like, it's like, well,
I mean, yeah, they're going to fix it eventually.
Yes, but I do think that I just think it's all very, that entire case, like we could definitely do an episode on Elisa Lam. There's so many just weird things about it. And there's so many weird things about the Hotel Cecil that it's like, I
think I've heard about this hotel before.
It's very famous. It's very, well, also the show American Horror Story based a season on this hotel.
Maybe that's why I know it.
The season hotel is based on the Cecil.
Listen, all I know, and we can end this one on this. All I know is that the Night Stalker is kind of lame. I'm just putting that one out there.
His ghost is coming. Richard Ramirez's ghost is coming after you, I think. It's not good.
I'm just saying.
Okay, I've got one in your neck of the woods.
Okay.
All right. This one is called The Gateway to Hell. Ready?
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm ready.
In mythology, gates to the underworld are nothing new. Gateways to hell, or Helgats as they first appeared on Dutch maps, pop up all over the globe. For centuries, we've heard stories about specific geographical locations on Earth that, for whatever reason, seem to hold some supernatural powers. In places like ancient Greece, scholars like, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, Pausanias? Scholars like Pausanias, I wrote this, I should have probably. Pausanias. Scholars like Pausanias documented gates like Lake Lima and said the following, quote, "There's no limit to the depth of the Alconian Lake, and I know of nobody who by any contrivance has been able to reach the bottom of it, since not even Nero, who had ropes made several stades long and fastened them together, trying to lead them, and omitting nothing that might help his experiment, was able to discover any limit to its depth. This too I heard, the water of the lake to all appearance calm and quiet, but although it is such to look at, every swimmer who ventures to cross it is dragged down, sucked into the depths, and swept away." End quote. So here at these gates, the line between the living and the dead fade away and seem to give rise to spirits and strange events. These can be very dangerous places, and we should not tread in them lightly. But what if I told you
there's one in New York City?
Oh, but what if I told you Google Earth seems to have captured evidence of such a place? Okay. In New Baltimore, New York, it's a small town like so many sleepy villages in eastern New York State, unremarkable and plain. It was first settled by the Mohican people and later the Dutch and then the English.
Just like the English, of course.
Yes, of course it's the English. Just like most of the Earth in the information age, Jamie's asleep. Of course he's asleep.
He just switched to himself.
Jamie switched to himself sleeping.
Pretty good.
I'm telling you a story, Jamie. Just like most of the Earth in the information age, Google, using Google Street View, tried documenting the town. Instead of images of a quaint small town, however, Google captured shadowy, distorted, nightmarish images whenever the camera shutter clicked. In the years since, Google has updated these photos, claiming it was a glitch. But was it really a glitch? Or did they unknowingly capture real evidence of a portal to the other side?
That seems like a stretch. That it's a gate to hell. They saw a couple shadowy images. They were like, gate to hell. That's what that is. Gate to hell. They didn't go to straight to ghosts or anything like that. I don't know. It feels like gate to hell is kind of a leap, no? Is it an actual gate?
I'm going to say this is true. This is a real thing that happened where Google Earth, Tom, this is
spoiled it before I could even.
Oh, I thought you were done.
Said it was true.
I thought you were done. I thought you were done guessing. Well, anyway,
I didn't say if it was real.
We'll continue what you're saying, and then we'll continue what you're saying.
No, I was just. Is it even a gate? No, you can continue what you're saying. Yeah.
What I was going to say is this is based upon something true. And I'm sure Jamie could probably find it. It's New Baltimore. You could just type in New Baltimore, New York hell glitch. And the interesting thing about this is before it reached the town limits and after, camera worked fine. Only in New Baltimore, New York, all of the images that were captured of the town are weird and distorted. And this then made it made its way online. And then people started speculating that this was a hell glitch. So I would say that this is like a true urban legend, and it's definitely inspired by something real. But yeah, very.
Is it just one particular area or the entirety of New Baltimore that it looked like?
It's the entire town of New. It's like the whatever images were captured within this town.
And did they go back and try to do it again and it happened again? Or
they have since gone back and they have fixed it. Yes. And they had to redo it. So you know,
glitch.
It's weird. It's definitely weird that
it is weird, but it's also come on, it's gotta be a glitch, right? It looks cool.
No,
the images look cool.
No, it's a portal to hell. It's obviously a portal to hell. Look at it. That's a hell gate to me if I've ever seen one. It's weird. It's very strange that the equipment malfunctioned like this. It's it's really weird.
But to say that the entirety of New Baltimore is a gateway to hell, what about the residents of New Baltimore? Are they just hell people? They're just all demons. All of them are demons.
Everybody there? Do you? Well, I can't say, but I remember reading about this story and just being like, oh, this is creepy.
It is really creepy.
This was like my 1 a.m. looking at pictures of this and being like, damn, that's creepy. Putting on the Exorcist soundtrack and being like,
I just don't understand why there's some light. If you can't control it, but there's some parts of the video where they're showing what seems to be a flashlight. Oh my god, that's really weird.
It's
why
weird.
It's
weird.
Why is that
weird,
building
right?
glowing? Right?
That's what I mean. Is that I think it's a hellgate. It's true. The hellgates exist.
Why is it glowing?
Pausanias was right.
What kind
He's
of
talking about Lake Lima? Pausanias.
Well, I will say, what kind of a camera glitch is this? I've never seen something like this before.
That's what I mean. Is that this
has
is
there been
weird.
Recorded camera glitches that do this kind of? Is there an effect?
That I don't know.
Or is this the only time it's ever been recorded that a camera has ever done this?
Google has said that this was a highly unusual thing, and they've gone back and they've remapped the town. I do think it's weird. It's very strange, and I can't explain this. Maybe somebody on.
Oh my god.
Maybe somebody watching this can account for this. It's weird. It's very creepy. It's very weird. I don't know why the equipment did this. I don't know why it only did it in New Baltimore, New York. It's a very, very bizarre glitch. And I personally do think that there are certain
only of this town? Does it fix itself as it leaves the town?
This is the only documented account of such a Google. Yeah, see? That's what I mean. Okay. This is weird.
Does it get normal if he continues on? What the hell?
That's what I mean, is that it only happens in the town. It's bizarre. It's weird.
Hold on now. Yeah, I would like to know if it continued on happening to a different town, or did it just stop as soon as he left? As soon as it left New Baltimore.
I will also say I think that there was probably electrical interference or something in the town.
Yeah.
I think the explanation is probably more mundane than there being sadly, I would love for there to be a hell glitch happening here. I would love
for there to be a gateway to hell in New
I would
Baltimore,
love for there to be a gateway to hell there. I think there was probably a radio tower or something, and something like that happened. I think
it's
the explanation.
It's cool. I would like to know, like, I would really like to know if it was just isolated to New Baltimore, because these cars, they go around to different towns, different states, right, all the time. Like, did it go to another town after New Baltimore and it had the same effect? Because that would kind of just put a kibosh to the whole thing, right? It really was a camera glitch if it's going to every town and it's doing that, or as soon as it left New Baltimore, it fixed itself.
I mean, as far as I know, it was just in the town. That was like the articles that I've read is that it was localized to New Baltimore. And then Google like realized it, like whoever was capturing it was like, oh, and I think that they realized it shortly after. Very weird. And I do think that there is such a thing as like I do think that there are areas with like a dark energy. So like the idea of a Hellgate in a place where like that, like this is like a further thing, but like did anything tragic happen in New Baltimore? Like why would there be something like that there if there really was like a big supernatural event in this area? I'd be very curious to know about the history of the town. I do think that there is something to that, like an area of like a big mass tragedy. I do think that there is something to that, like that there's like a presence or something. So who knows? Maybe it is true, but very unusual photography, and it seems to be inspired.
Is there any crazy tragedies that happened in New Baltimore?
Yeah, does anybody know? Anybody
asking you?
Hey, you're the New York expert. I'm just reporting here. I don't know if there's anything specifically tragic that happened there. If any listeners on Spotify or YouTube know if there are any super tragic events we need to be aware of that are in New Baltimore, upstate New York, please let us know. And we would love to know more about the town's history that seems to have inspired the Hell Glitch.
I'm more surprised that there's a place named New Baltimore that I've never heard of.
Well, there's a lot of like really little. I've spent time in upstate New York. There's a lot of like really small, like villages that like you've just never heard of. I think that's like upstate. I think that there's a lot of places like that in America. Like I've been to a lot of like seeing a lot of bands and stuff. Like I've gone to places in like Virginia and like, you know, upstate New York and like New Hampshire and Maine, like little sleepy villages that like probably haven't changed in 50 years and you've never heard of them. And the people that live in that town, they've lived in that town for their entire life. They're never going to leave that town and nothing has changed there. They like everybody goes to the diner after church on Sunday. They've got the little corner store. They drive 35 minutes away to Stop and Shop, and like that's like their big outing. I think that there's a lot of places like that in the country.
Stop and Shop, deep cut. I don't even think Stop and Shop exists anymore.
They all go to Star Market.
Is it Stop
and Shop?
No,
I think Stop and Shop's still around.
No, I think it is right. I think it was A&P that went out of business.
A&P I've never been to, but like, yeah, Stop and Shop is like very specific for anybody listening or watching. Stop and Shop is like very specific regionally to like the Northeast of the United States. I believe it's like the only place that it is. Jamie, how much time do we have?
We have, I think, about 10, 15 minutes. I think I think we got time to go into the next one.
Okay, we have time for one more. Okay, so this is another. Is this true? Is this based on something true, or is this just total bullshit? Okay, this is the story of the Bunny Man. Have you heard about the Bunny Man?
No, Tom, I haven't heard about the Bunny Man.
Are you sure you haven't heard about the Bunny Man?
I think I'm pretty much 100% sure I've never heard of the Bunny Man.
Okay. As the story goes, there is an insane asylum being shut down. All the patients must be moved. During the transfer, so they're transferring all the patients from the insane asylum to the new insane asylum.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Yep. During the transfer, there's a horrible bus accident with the bus careening off a bridge in Fairfax County, Virginia, sending the bus crashing below. Some of the patients escape. All are caught except one, Douglas Griffin. For weeks, an exhaustive search is held. But aside from some local stories of residents in the nearby woods reporting discarded bits of animals, namely rabbits, no trace of him is seen.
Is that why he's called the Bunny Man? Because of the rabbit traces?
Well, I'll get into that. Okay. Something, though, has been hunting prey in the woods. Fast forward a few months to Halloween night. A group of teenagers are hanging around the very same bridge when suddenly something attacks them. They are all brutally murdered. They are all brutally murdered with what appears to be an axe or some other blunt instrument. Police are baffled. Strange reports of a 6-foot-tall man in a bunny costume start to come in from all over the county. According to local legend, if you visit this bridge near Clifton Woods at midnight on Halloween from now on, you too will face the Bunny Man and his axe. Now,
Clifton what? Clifton.
The Clifton Woods is like the wooded area near the bridge. It's in Fairfax County, Virginia, is where this comes out of.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with not real.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. Yeah.
Is totally final answer?
That's my totally final answer.
I'm gonna say, now is this true? I'm gonna say sort of. Sort of true, actually.
Damn it, Tom!
Sort of true. I'm going to say sort of true.
You've said that about all of them!
Because they're all derived from something that they have a nugget. They have a nugget in there. So I'm going to say the actual murder story is not true. Mm-hmm. However, there are reports of a 6-foot-tall bunny man coming out of that area from the 1970s.
Okay, so wait, why would he be named the Bunny Man? Is he in like a bunny suit?
Literally in a bunny suit. So, and this is from Wikipedia, but this was reported in the Washington Post. So the Washington Post, very reputable newspaper, on October 19th, 1970, U.S. Air Force Academy cadet Robert Bennett and his fiance were visiting relatives on Guinea Road in Burke, which is nearby. Around midnight, while returning from a football game, they reportedly parked their car in a field. So, like, these are these are kids. They're parking their car.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make whoopee.
What?
They're going to make whoopee in the car. Isn't that what they call it?
What?
Isn't that what they call it? They call it making whoopee.
What are you saying right now?
That's what they're going to do. They're going to make whoopee in the car. Isn't that what...
Is this a euphemism for sex?
They're going to dance the horizontal mambo. I think that's what they're going to do.
Never heard of it as whoopee before.
That's back when I was a kid, back in the 1910s. They called it making...
The 1910s?
They called it making whoopee. So these kids, I guess he's an Air Force cadet, so he's probably 18, 19. Mm-hmm. They park their car, and after they go to this football game, after they're visiting their uncle, and as they sat in the front seat with the motor running, they noticed something moving outside the rear window. Moments later, a man dressed in a white suit with long bunny ears ran out from the nearby bushes and began shouting, "You're on private property, and I have your tag number." So just a man wearing a bunny hat. And Jamie and I talked about this before, and like there's varying reports. I believe Jamie told me that somebody said that they couldn't tell whether or not it was bunny ears or just a helmet. I think that's what Jamie was saying.
Yeah, so from my understanding, because I legitimately got so interested in this about how ridiculous is a story, and from what I understand, I think one of them said bunny ears and the other one said helmet, and then obviously they chose the bunny ears as the story, because that obviously would be more intriguing of saying. But assuming whatever Tom says next, there is some stuff that I think lead on to this story.
Yes,
afterwards.
I mean, I think it's like plausible, like a man escaped an insane asylum. I think that's plausible. Maybe even plausible that he's living off rabbits, but murdering people in a bunny suit does not seem ideal, even for him.
It's not the best. Well, I think if you're gonna be running around the woods murdering people, you should really be wearing Under Armour. You gotta have freedom of movement.
Yeah, you gotta have something.
Right. Well, if you're going to be swinging the axe around, if you're wearing a constrictive bunny costume, it's going to rip. It's going to get stuck
I assume it's
on
hot
stuff.
in there too.
Right.
I mean,
you want to breathe. You want like the high cotton thread fibers.
Also,
so
where's he getting this axe from?
So there is another report. I think that's what Jamie's talking about. There is another reputable report of a security guard had a similar incident, and I believe he's the one who reported seeing somebody in a bunny costume stalking a construction site who he was the security guard of at the time with an axe. And I believe that's what Jamie might be saying that I was about to report from. I think it was that account.
Yeah.
So, and throughout 1970,
maybe wants to be the bunny man.
So I think that there's something to this. So throughout 1970s, there are then reports, dozens of reports from a lot of reputable people, not just like attention seekers, of a man in a bunny suit in the area stalking around carrying an axe. And reputable newspapers like the Washington Post reported on this throughout the 1970s. I do think that they reported on the first story, and then there were people, I think there were copycats. I think there were people who read the story and then were like, oh, this would be really funny to do. I think that since nobody was actually killed, I think it was like bored people who like started doing this. But I will say it is interesting that there's like a nugget of truth to this, that in the 1970s, in this area in Virginia, there's a 6-foot-tall man in a bunny costume running around with an axe scaring people.
Wielding an axe,
So a little nugget of truth to this one. I did think that this was an interesting story. An interesting story.
I will say as well, the asylum thing, they couldn't report anything to a person. There was no reports of a person escaping a mental asylum at the time
that was fake.
happens. So yeah.
So the whole thing is fake.
I think the person, whoever it was that came out yelling at the couple, I think might have been just someone in the area that gets annoyed at kids like they usually do, and then
was
probably in construction or something, maybe smashed in.
Yeah, I think just someone trying to be the legend.
Yeah, just decides they want to be a bunny man.
I think what sounds like it happens. I think that there were a couple of 18-year-olds having sex in the guy's front yard. And this guy came up and was like, hey, get the hell out of here. What are you doing on my property?
Yeah.
And then this inspired a bunny man costume. I think that's exactly what happened. I think that's exactly I think the guy had a hat on. I think he had a big hat on. Probably had a cowboy hat on or something. And was like, hey, you kids, put your pants back on. Get off my property. Get the hell out of here. And I think that turned into, I think he had a bunny costume on. And then it morphed into this.
Let's recap from all the stories you said. All of them are not true.
All of them are true.
No. All of them are not true.
Jamie, can we fact check this? All of them are true?
Sure, yeah. All of them can be true. Yeah.
Boom!
Stupid
Boom! All of them are true. No, I think that all the stories are interesting. They're all cool urban legends. I would say that the Bunny Man is probably the one that has the most truth to it, in that it inspired something. But I think that the other ones are just made up. They're creepy pasta type things that just turned into. I think that it's interesting that, especially with Elisa Lam, I think it's interesting that I do think that she had probably read that story. And I do personally believe that she was playing the elevator game in that elevator.
I think she was trying to escape somebody and the elevator wasn't working, and maybe whoever got to her killed her and put her in the water tank. Or she was having a mental breakdown and willingly jumped into the water tank with no way out.
It's such a sad story. Like, she was young too. I think she was like 22, 23. Like, she was she was like on her break from college. Yeah. And just like, I'm going to go to, like, just like anybody else, she was like, I've never been to LA. I'm going to go to LA for 3 days. And she found this hotel, which was like it's called the Stay on Main. They've since rebranded because of this. It was called the Cecil Hotel at the time. She stayed at this hotel because it was like a cheap hotel. Like, it was like a budget hotel to stay in for travelers. But I also do think that to what you're saying, that possibly she was trying to escape from somebody. I do think there's something to that because this building also offers a lot of long-term residency and a lot of like, let's say unsavory individuals do stay there because it's very cheap.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible that like she could have ran into somebody and like something tragic happened to her, sadly.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but yeah, none of them are real.
No. I had some other ones that were like obviously just fake. But some other good stories. Maybe we'll tell some other urban. I love urban legends. I think urban legends like, and I think that that's the interesting thing about creepypastas and like things online is that there's often a little nugget of truth to them, and that's like our new urban legends. Those are like that's like our new folklore. Is like these online creepy stories that often have like sometimes they have a little nugget of truth to them, and like that's our new like creepypastas are our new like hookman stories, like the man with the hook that escaped the asylum that's like coming to get the teenagers at night as they're parked in a car. I love a good creepy story, so I do think it's interesting to hear them.
Yeah.
Well, they're all true, Noah. They're all true.
Yeah. No, I mean, sure.
I don't believe any
exactly.
of it,
Speaking of true, we might talk about this in the after show. I put it in the thing. Even though I don't support Mr. Rogan, Bob Lazar was on Joe Rogan again 2 days ago.
Again, recently.
He was just on, and that segment has now been clipped by Joe Rogan, and I thought we could watch that on the after show and maybe respond to Mr. Lazar.
Yeah, we'll do that on the after show for sure.
Well, I guess we're gonna get over to the after show, but thank you everybody for joining us here on the MadBox podcast. Please click that link, the link that's on our YouTube channel. We're also going to post it on the Discord. We explained it earlier in the show if you're just popping into it, but we are moving to a new channel. We think that that's the best way to potentially grow this YouTube channel, but we appreciate everybody being here, and we'll see you on the after show.
See you on the after show.
Okay, bye everybody. Stay mad.
Stay mad.
Bye.